Hello Internet, my name is Hazel from Hazelnuttygames. It is Wednesday. It's not Saturday. It's about as far as Saturdays as possible to get within the week, but I missed last week, so we're catching up right now. We are doing a quick catch-up vlog. So, this week, and in fact right now, the Battleground Weekend event has started, and wow, we've had one of these already, so we kind of know the drill. If you pick up the quest from your garrison first, and then you win 4 Battlegrounds, just the random, unrated, regular old ones, you can queue with up to 4 other friends. You win 4 of those, it'll give you 500 conquest points. It does not count towards your cap. Additionally, you will get triple honor, so this is the bee's knees for gearing up alts. I took my my Resto Druid, my new one, my new alt Resto Druid in there, and I now have best in slot blues. It took me about 4 Battlegrounds, which was about as much as I needed to get the cap, but I still want to keep queuing because Battlegrounds are a blast. So that is available until September the 15th. And it's awesome, and it makes me wish that it was Battleground event all the time, but then it might not be as special, and I might just come to expect that extra honor. So I don't know, but if you have any alts that need gearing up, or you have any characters you want that extra conquest points on, I strongly recommend you go do that. What else happened? We can fly! When did that happen? Did I talk about that already? I don't remember. Anyways, we can fly, and they've also released the new open Highmall area that has the rares that drop those new pets. There's the Imperial Mana Fiend, and then 2 other Mana Fiends that have words that are similarly magic-y. I didn't end up actually farming any of them because one of my buddies got an extra and I got that, and then I bought the other 2 off the auction house because I'm lazy. But based on the prices on the auction house, they were all available for less than 5k. The drop rate can't be too bad, so feel free to fly out to New Grand and farm those in Highmall if you don't have those yet already and you're a pet collecting kind of person. And then flying, it's good. It's not really inspiring me to do anything I wouldn't have done already like I thought it might. But hey, I can fly to get my seals every week a little faster. I can fly around my garrison, which is kind of neat. And then I leveled, post-flying patch, I leveled that alt druid I just mentioned from 90 to 100, and I did it in about 3 hours, which was pretty darn cool. I did that using a bunch of different XP bonuses, including the 300% XP pot. I picked up a couple of those from the auction house. You can get an XP pot from your garrison vendor for a couple garrison resources, and then basically what you do is I did this in 3 zones, and I found this idea on Reddit, and you do all the bonus objectives, but you don't finish them. You do them all up to 1 pickup or turn in or whatever, and then you start at a point and you pop all your XP pots. You've got like 300% from the thingy, and then another 20% from the other thingy, and then all your heirlooms and stuff, of course. And then you fly around and you complete them all, which gives you a butt ton of experience. And then you just spend the rest of your 15-minute buff picking up treasures, which also give you significant amounts of experience. And as a person that can fly, as a druid that can fly, that can loot treasures without even getting out of flight form, it's pretty freaking fast. So I did that in Shadowman Valley. That got me to about 94. I did that again in Gorgon, which got me to about 98. And I could have just gone and finished normally from 98 to 100, because I was actually at about 98 and a half. But I was lazy as hell, and I really wanted to finish this, so I went and popped another one and did 2 objectives in Spires of Iraq and a couple of treasures, and that popped me right up to 100. So I reached level 100 on that alt with no followers, basically. Pretty much no followers. Pretty much no gear. But damn, did I level fast. So getting into the beginning of the gear grind, because I did that a couple days ago, so a bit before the Battleground event started, at the very beginning of the gear grind, going in with like Kata gear on, not so pretty. Literally anybody could hit me with literally any spell and I would fall over dead. So I had a bit of a rough weekend getting started, but I now have all my stuff, and I remembered how much fun it is being a Resto Druid and how excited I am to have 2 of them, because this means that in my main I can, queue 3s at 2200 and above, now that I'm 2200 now, and pug some high level teams if once I've tested them, of course. And keep my rating and not really get too risky on my main. And then I have my alt, which I can play with viewers, I can play with pugs, I can play with anybody from my friends list without worrying about the CR or worrying about the comp. I can try out different talents. It's basically a tune that I can use to queue on all the time for practice without worrying about my rating. So I'm really excited to have a second druid. And it was cool being able to level it that fast. So that was basically the impact of the patch on me. What else happened? Yesterday was my birthday. I am now 23 years old as opposed to 22 years old. It doesn't feel any different because it's not that different. But I had a lovely birthday. I walked down in the morning to the garden center with my puppy, and I bought myself a new plant. I brought it here so I can show you. This is my new plant. It is a Silver Peaks type succulent. It's got the very beginning of a flower stalk. The rest of them all had flowers that were already blooming on them that were gorgeous, but I figured that was kind of cheating if I buy one that's blooming already. So I got one that's like thinking about blooming, and then if I can let it bloom, then I'll feel like a successful plant owner. Although I won't cry if it doesn't, because now that I've potted it up, it's no longer stressed out from being root bound, and that can be something that induces blooming. So it might not bloom anymore, but it's definitely pretty. It's a nice silver color, and it kind of nicely contrasts the colors of all my other succulents. So I bought that. It was $5, and it was like the best $5. I mean, any plant is usually the best $5 I spent because I love them so much, but it's been my birthday buddy. And then my husband, for significantly more than $5, got me a new headset because I was talking earlier about how my headset, and by earlier I mean for the past like 4 months, I used to have, you may have seen it in old videos, a SteelSeries Siberia V2. It was black. I used it for years. I sat on it almost every day, and it was a very faithful headset for a long, long time. It had great sound, and it was pretty comfy, and I love that headset. But eventually it broke after I think 3 or maybe even 4 years of use, which is something that headsets tend to do. And because I wasn't using the mic anymore, I already had my mic at this point. I didn't want to replace it with like a whole nother headset. I couldn't really afford it at the time, and I'd had some problems with the audio drivers for that one, so I didn't really want to get another one. So I was just using earbuds for the longest time for streaming, listening to music, and playing the game, and that gets kind of tiresome after a while. And then my earbuds started to fall apart, so I really needed something else. And then I was looking at these, and then my husband knew, and he got me one, and it's white with like pink on it, but I didn't buy it for myself, so if anybody gives me shit for having a pink headset, which nobody would, but if anybody does, I can all be like, oh, I didn't do it, but secretly I really like it. And then it's like, it's very good passive noise canceling. This is the HyperX Cloud 2 from Kingston, just for reference, if anybody is considering a headset. It's a pretty good buy right now in the under, like $100 and under price range. Good passive noise canceling. There's no active noise canceling, but the over-ear cups cut out noise quite a bit. It's very comfortable, and it's pretty light, so I can see myself, I've worn it for a pretty long session already, and it is the most comfortable headset I've ever worn. The sound is excellent on it, especially when you run it through its own sound card. It's got its own onboard USB sound card to facilitate the 7.1 surround sound in the headset. It's about as good as headset 7.1 surround is going to get, which is to say not amazing, but we're just playing video games here. I'm not like an audio engineer. So it's super comfy. It comes with a mic, and the mic actually pops right out, which is great because I'm not using it. And I have a new headset, and I love it. What else? Generally speaking in WoW, I've just been keeping myself busy with a lot of PvP. I am very inspired right now to try and improve myself as a resto druid, especially if any of you saw the last video I posted that had stream footage of me reaching 2200. I'm really excited about that, and I really want to put a lot more work in to fix areas that I need to work on, and to become a more reliable player at 2200 and above, so I can just like meet new people and do high-rated PvP, and maybe one day do tournaments. And I have a dream of one day I want to be Gladiator Hazel. Not this season, most likely. Like last season was my first hardcore season, and I'm not that good yet. My resto druid is currently sitting at a rating that's good enough for Duelist, and I got Rival last season. But one day, maybe in Legion, Gladiator Hazel has a nice sound to it, so that's my goal. And I'm just dying for Legion news. I know we're probably not going to get anything big or substantial Legion news-wise. We might get like little tweets and tidbits here and there, but there's probably not going to be anything huge until BlizzCon, which is in November, which I guess isn't that far away anymore, but man, I need it. Videos on the channel have been a little bit dry just because I've kind of run out of guides to make, and that's no excuse. I could certainly be doing more like top 10 videos and a new series of Battleground videos. There's lots of things I could and should be working on, and I will try and work a bit harder on that to get more videos out than just the vlog, but man, Legion is going to make that so much easier once I can get into the beta. There's going to be so many things to look at, especially with the sounds of how much they're changing all the classes. I'm definitely going to need to get in and look at making some overviews of what's changing once we know what's changing, and I want to... Oh, I'm dying here. I need it. This upcoming weekend, Regionals, which is it's the next step of the Road to BlizzCon, like the Arena BlizzCon tournament. The qualifiers for it, the next step is Regionals, and I can't wait. It's the first time it's the first step that is land style, so they're actually... the players are actually going to a place, I believe it's in California. I know Venruki and somebody else is going to be shoutcasting it, and I can't wait to watch it. It's going to be so cool. And it'll be really fun seeing players that maybe haven't done that before, the whole land thing, especially because I don't know if they ban add-ons at this stage, but I think they might. And I know at BlizzCon, you're playing without add-ons. You're playing on their hardware and you're playing without add-ons, which is a big change for a lot of players. And I think this might be the first step of that. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that, but I can't wait to watch Regionals. It's going to be so good. Maybe I'll just make some snacks and have like... And at home in Canada, sometimes my mom would have hockey parties, and she'd like make hockey-themed snacks, and she'd have anybody over if anybody wanted to come over, and if nobody wanted to, she'd just like cheer her TV anyways. And I kind of want to do that. Anyways, it'll be really cool to see how those games go. And that has been my week. So let's take a look at questions. Qwerty asks, you said once that you're going to make TSM gold making guide. Is this still a plan? Yes. So the first thing I want to do for that is do a basic set of TSM overview guides for people that are new to the Trade Skill Master suite of add-ons. And I want to do a couple of different ones so that there's like a very basic entry-level explanation of what each module does. And then I want to get into different strategies as to how you can make gold in different markets on different servers. But Trade Skill Master right now is a little bit out of date, and they're not updating the current version because they're working very hard to get the next overall version out, TSM 3. It's in beta. I'm not in the beta. And it's been in beta for a while now. I don't know any dates as to when it's coming out, but I feel like it's probably pretty close to release. And I would hate to put a bunch of time into a bunch of guides, because these are going to take me a significant amount of time. I'd hate to, like, bang them all out and get them all available and then have them be instantly outdated when Trade Skill Master 3 comes out. So I've been kind of sitting on my heels on that project, just waiting for Trade Skill Master 3, because I don't know exactly what it's changing. But even if it's not changing things that would be relevant to the guides I want to make, I still want to make the guides with the newest version. So I am kind of waiting for that. It shouldn't be very long, but then again, I thought that a while ago, so we don't really know when those are coming out. They are definitely going to happen, especially once we get the new version. And I'm hoping they get the new version out soon, because mine has been kind of flooping out a little bit. More and more often, I find the windows become unresponsive, and I have to reload my UI to get them back and running. And there haven't been any updates for it, because again, they're working on Trade Skill Master 3. So hopefully that's soon. I'd love to get those done. And yes, the answer is yes, that is still a plan, but I'm just waiting for the next version. If any of you have any questions you would like answered on a vlog, Saturday or otherwise, just leave them as a comment on the most recent vlog, or you're welcome to swing by my live streams. There's a schedule in the description below this video that details when I live stream and approximately what I do. If I'm not raiding, which is 7 to 10 Pacific on Wednesdays and Thursdays, if I'm streaming and I'm not raiding, I am doing PvP, basically. Every now and then I might do like a couple pet battles or run some old raids, but for the most part I'm working on my Rusted Druid game, so that is my life. I hope you guys are all doing great, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!